The chaos and confusion of everyday life can get us focusing on everything that's going wrong. Therefore, it's easy to overlook some of the fantastic new discoveries that have been made just this year. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 recent interesting discoveries that had been made in 2020. The mystery safe. What do you do when a safe appears in the middle of a field, with nothing but a note attached to it? That's a question that farmer Kirk Mathis faced in late August when he found a metal safe that did not belong to him lying out in the sun. Its appearance alone was daunting enough, but what was even more surprising was the lack of any clues and hints as to how or when it got there. The safe had an estimated weight of 500 to 600 pounds, so there was no question that it had to have been transported there with the help of heavy machinery. Many wondered how it could be possible for anyone to do that without making enough sound to draw attention to what was happening. At least the farmer did not have to worry about returning it to anyone. The note on it read simply, "If you can open it, you can keep it." Some people thought maybe opening the safe wasn't the best idea, and for good reason. What if there was something dangerous inside it? Fear of the unknown didn't stop everyone from trying. People fiddled with the hinges, knocked off the dial and handle, and even tried taking a sledgehammer to the metal, beating it up and denting it. However, this came with no luck. It remained unopened, and eventually the police showed up to disperse the crowds that had gathered to see what was going on. The farmer himself was less inclined to open the safe, but for different reasons. He told reporters that he believed leaving it closed would allow for the mystery to live on, for people to imagine alternatives and maybe get people's minds off from the devastating virus of 2020 and difficulties of this year. In the end, Mathis decided to keep the safe in his barns. He said he planned to move it somewhere else, where it could be well hidden and protected from break-ins and strangers' attempts to open it. Who knows what might happen? Maybe if he hides it well enough, it'll take another many years before someone else finds it and has to make the choice again, to take the risk and open it, or leave it for another person in another time. The Old Cave Bear. As permafrost melts across Russia's region of Siberia, more old bones and remains of animals from thousands of years ago have been discovered, including mammoths, rhinos, lion cubs, and now a bear from the Ice Age. Well-preserved remains of an old cave bear were discovered on Bolshoy-Lyakovsky Island in the East Siberian Sea in early September. When reindeer herders stumbled across the carcass, they quickly alerted researchers and scientists at the Northeastern Federal University at Yakutsk, who were interested in this news. It is the first and only of its kind, a bear in its entirety. It was determined to have lived during the time of woolly mammoths, mastodons, and saber-toothed tigers during the Ice Age. This seems like a lucky coincidence, as a preserved cave bear cub was also discovered a little earlier. This was exciting news for the researchers whose speciality lies in Ice Age animals. These bears went extinct more than 15,000 years ago, and the only remains ever found until now were fragments of bones or skulls. This is the first example of an almost wholly preserved bear carcass, with its teeth, nose, soft tissue, and all its internal organs nearly completely intact. Now, scientists have the chance to do even deeper and further research into the species. The discovery was called groundbreaking by university researchers and scientists. This is the latest and one of the greatest additions to a growing collection of preserved Ice Age carcasses that have been emerging from the melted permafrost. What does it weigh? When exactly did it live? What caused the extinction of this species? Was it human interference, hunting, or natural causes? These are all questions that researchers and scientists may now be able to answer as a result of this extraordinary discovery. A preliminary analysis determined that this specific bear must have lived between 22,000 to 29,500 years ago, but we won't know the exact age until a radiocarbon analysis is conducted. According to a study in 2018, these bears could weigh between 1,100 to 3,300 pounds, which would be larger than the modern polar bear. Further analysis from various parts of the carcass may give us even more information on how the bear lived and passed away. Its teeth could reveal what its diet was, and evidence about the territory and habitat in which it lived. Analysis of any contents that may have remained in its stomach will tell us whether it was a carnivore, herbivore, or omnivore. Most interesting of all, ancient DNA analysis could provide clarification on its evolutionary history and background. The supernova. Scientist Carl Sagan has said that we humans are made of star stuff. This may sound like a line of poetry, but what he has said has some truth in it. While we may not exactly be made of stars in their entirety, it turns out that elements discovered in the aftermath of the star, scientifically referred to as a supernova, contains just the same stuff found in human bodies, and indeed the world as a whole. Supernovae are explosions caused when a star larger than the Sun collapses. These explosions carry with them silver, nickel, copper, calcium, and iron, amongst other elements found in our own bodies. They are extremely bright and powerful explosions due to producing massive amounts of energy from its core, which causes the star to become extremely hot. Eventually, the pressure from the core cannot withstand its own gravitational force, causing the star to collapse. Astronomers discovered a supernova explosion from a star larger than the Sun, the S9 2016 APS. It was discovered by scientists at the Center for Astrophysics. Although the SN 2016 APS supernova was first spotted in 2016, scientists have been studying it and finding more information about the star itself and the collapse of it. It is the brightest, most energetic, and likely biggest supernova ever to be observed, with an explosion strength 10 times the energy of most normal-sized supernovas. The research team was able to measure it using the total energy of the explosion and its radiation. They found that the SN 2016 APS emitted 5 times the explosion energy of a typical supernova. They were also able to discover that its mass was 50 to 100 times more than the Sun's. Normal supernovae are typically around 15 times as large as the Sun. Its collapse happened 4 billion light-years away. Therefore, looking at it is much like looking back in time, as it takes all that time for evidence of these explosions to reach the Earth. Scientists suggest that the extraordinary brightness and energy levels may hint at something even more interesting, what is known as a pulsational pair instability supernova. This is when two massive stars merge before exploding, which may explain its unusual size, radiation, and light emission. The theory is that two stars combined just before the explosion, causing a notable increase in hydrogen and a mass high enough to trigger the pair instability and therefore the explosion. A follow-up study of SN 2016 APS revealed high levels of hydrogen gas. This is unusual because larger stars tend to lose their hydrogen to powerful stellar winds when becoming supernovae. It is only stars with lower masses that can hold on to their hydrogen because the explosions are not as formidable and therefore allow for more attention. This supernova is the first of many that scientists hope to discover and research, and it is believed that it has opened the pathways to greater discoveries. With their more powerful telescopes, they will be able to find more and more supernovae like this one. Discovering these supernovae are a form of looking back in time, back to the early history of the universe. Scientists hope to find even earlier and older supernovae, and they believe that they will. If there's anything we can take away from these discoveries, it's that the world is a surprising and fascinating place. Whether in a field in the middle of New York or the Siberian Arctic, or out in space, there's always something to find out and learn about. Evidence of the past can remind us that much has happened and therefore will happen, but that the universe and the Earth carry on. Whether an unexplained extinction or the collapse of thousands of stars, the universe has survived. The past shows us that a future is possible, and we are living in it. Even if much is left to mystery, what we do find out and get to know is exciting and fascinating. And even if we don't always know everything now, someone, somewhere will one day open the mystery safe of the universe, and we'll be able to look back on the once ambiguous history with fresh eyes. But what do you make of these recent discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.